Now on CoastTV News.
A national wave of No Kings protests swept through cities coast to coast, including right here on Delmarva. Demonstrators say they showed up and what they're hoping to see change. Homelessness in one Delmarva town becoming harder to ignore. Why residents say it's more visible than ever and what's going to be done to address it.
It was a milder Saturday with an even warmer Sunday on the way, and a yellow alert for early Monday for damaging winds and perhaps some heavy rain. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening and welcome to CoastTV News at 11. Today is Saturday, October 18th. We begin tonight with our top story. Protesters across Delaware taking to the streets under one unified message. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. The movement is growing in cities like Wilmington, Dover, Georgetown, and Rehoboth. One person CoastTV spoke with says they feel the stakes are personal.
It means protecting our children and our future, our economy, the reason why I came to this country to begin with. It's falling apart. I just don't want to be living in the place I ran away from.
Organizers say the message is clear. The people are watching and they're not backing down. Images here sent in by viewers of Legislative Hall over in Dover. Delaware Congresswoman Representative Sarah McBride spoke at that rally. Now taking a live look into Dover from our Bay Health Kent campus. We're joined now by our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trihey. Good night, Bob.
Grace, yeah, it was a beautiful Saturday out there. A beautiful start to the weekend. Temperatures near 70 degrees. Right now, cooling down, not as chilly as last night, but we're in the low to mid 50s right now. 54 in Gumboro, 55 Georgetown. Lewis, right now you're at 60, 54 in Ocean Pines. And the winds are light out of the south right now. And with that, I think it'll be a little milder overnight. Now, right now, we're looking at mostly clear skies, so in good shape all across Delmarva. High pressure is sliding offshore, and we're looking at a southerly flow that will keep us milder tonight. And then back to the west, a strong cold front brings pretty heavy rain and wind as we go into Monday morning. But as we go through the overnight, temperatures not as chilly. We're in the low 50s by 3 a.m. By 6 a.m., we're starting out into the 50s to right around 60. And then it's breezy and pretty mild by Sunday afternoon. Here's your day part forecast. After church, we're in the mid 50s, but then the breezes pick up and temperatures warm into the mid 70s with a yellow alert Monday morning. I'll have the details on that coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
New tonight, Delaware State Police have identified the man killed in Thursday's crash in Georgetown as 25-year-old Gudiel Ramirez Lopez of Laurel. At around 6:15 p.m., those police say a Honda crossed the center line on Lewis-Georgetown Highway, then colliding with the front of an Audi. The driver of the Honda, now identified as Ramirez Lopez, later died at the hospital. An 18-year-old was driving the Audi and had non-life-threatening injuries. DSP now investigating why the Honda crossed the center line. Now what you're about to see on your screen is on the same road just earlier this morning. At around 8:15 a.m., Georgetown Fire and EMS responded to a rollover crash. These images on your screen. The Georgetown Fire Department says it happened at the Lewis-Georgetown Highway and Wilkins Lane. Friday night, Georgetown Fire and EMS responded to a different crash at East Market Street and the Circle at around 10:20 p.m. This is the same area where a memorial to fallen Georgetown police officer Chad Spicer was damaged by a drunk driver just last year, sparking outrage and prompting the town to relocate the memorial to a safer spot. Police say 28-year-old Dwayne Boney of Smyrna was the one who was speeding through an old Laurel road in an attempt to evade police. Now, they say Boney ran a stop sign, crashed into a ramp at Georgetown Elementary School. Police say he then took off again, speeding through town, ultimately losing control at the Circle, where he crashed into the center island. Officers arrested Boney at the scene, and they say he showed signs of impairment. Boney was then taken to the hospital. Town officials approved that move for the memorial last month. They were hoping to better the project to tribute to Officer Spicer while giving the community a more peaceful place to remember him. To learn more about what the committee had to say on the move, you can head to coasttvnews.com and search Georgetown Council approval. Homelessness in Georgetown at the center stage this week during the council meeting. Community members made claims of harassment and aggressive panhandling. The Georgetown Police Department say they receive complaints daily. Police say it is a legal and free speech to sit on a public sidewalk and hold a sign. One advocate in town says he knows why the homeless population is increased in Georgetown.
People in Georgetown say the train tracks running through town have become a problem, becoming a place where people struggling with homelessness are living. The founder of the Shepherd's Office, Eric Bodenweiser, tells Coast TV the reason for the increased homelessness in Georgetown is simple. It's because of what Georgetown offers. The Center of Probation is here in town. The prison is also here in Georgetown, as well as all of the courts in the center of town. He says everyone has to come here to Georgetown, as well as the Department of Health and Social Services and all of the counseling agencies that Georgetown offers. Georgetown Mayor Bill West agrees, saying because Georgetown is the county seat, it attracts people for the services the town offers. But the mayor says some people aren't using the services as intended. Instead, they stay in town using drugs and alcohol. Dr. Bob Barrett is a business professor. He thinks the problem starts at the top.
You're not going to have a perfect world, and when you don't have a perfect economy, because I'm a business professor, I can tell you right now, it's not going to change much. First, you got to go after the politicians and have them open up the purse. Mayor West says the town is actively trying to send homeless people who aren't using services back to their hometowns and out of Georgetown.
The mayor has not said, though, how the town is deciding who qualifies as not using services or what steps are being taken to send people elsewhere. Mayor West said the issue is not being overlooked by the town. Delaware State Police investigating a crash that happened earlier Friday afternoon in Lincoln. State troopers say it happened around 2 p.m. at the intersection of DuPont Boulevard and Johnson Road. That area is on your screen now. A Hyundai was slowing for that traffic light. When it was rear-ended, police say it was then pushed into the path of an oncoming freight truck. The driver of the Hyundai, a 60-year-old Virginia man, taken to the hospital where he was there pronounced dead. The two other drivers not hurt. The roadway was closed, according to police, for about 4 hours during that investigation. Coastal Sussex County is set to get a new performing arts center, but where it goes, well, that's a matter of debate. This is a Clear Space Theater in Rehoboth Beach. The theater's director says they're looking to expand, and they've zeroed in on 2 locations to do that, one in Lewis and one in Rehoboth. In Lewis, they'd own the land, but in Rehoboth, they'd lease it. Rehoboth Beach officials signed off on a drafted agreement today and a plan to send a letter of intent to the theater. The director says the main difference between the 2 locations is that they would own the land in Lewis but would lease in Rehoboth.
That's the primary difference between what the 2 arrangements might look like. In the case of the plan with Rehoboth Beach, since you'd be on city land, it would be a true public-private partnership with this municipality. Whereas in Lewis, anything that might be considered in support of this would be incentives.
The Lewis mayor and Rehoboth Beach officials say the decision on where to go is now in the hands of the theater leadership. The theater's director did not say when the decision will be made. As artificial intelligence continues to grow, so do the concerns around safety, particularly for minors. Mary Bell Gonzalez is in Los Angeles with testimony from one mother who says more safeguards around AI would have helped prevent the death of her son.
Megan Garcia says her 14-year-old son, Sewell Setzer III, loved to make people laugh.
He was handy with a quick joke for sure.
But in 2023, she noticed a change.
He was more withdrawn, isolating himself in his bedroom, and he wasn't opening up. In February of 2024, he took his own life in our home.
The Florida mother believed an AI chatbot was to blame.
He had been engaging with an AI chatbot over numerous months, and those conversations were both romantic and sexual. He was in a situation where a chatbot was manipulating him.
Garcia is suing the company behind Character AI, alleging the company did not do enough to prevent Setzer from developing a relationship with a chatbot and did not adequately respond when Setzer began expressing thoughts of self-harm, according to the lawsuit. Character AI would not comment on the pending litigation, but say they have introduced new features, including self-harm resources and features focused on the safety of minor users.
We need to protect our kids and our teens and our families from the excesses of this new technology.
California Governor Gavin Newsom signed SB 243. Led by State Senator Steve Padilla, this legislation will require chatbot operators to implement safeguards around interactions with AI.
We have to rapidly rise to meet the challenge to not miss a window to provide reasonable safeguards.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Character AI says they will work with lawmakers as they develop legislation for the emerging space and will comply with laws, adding that they work with external experts focused on teenage safety. Dinosaur dog, costumes, contests, and tail-wagging fun. Hundreds turned out for this year's Bark on the Boards in Rehoboth Beach. See the pups that stole the show and the cause behind the celebration.
It was a chilly start to our Saturday, a low of 42, the record low of 26 back in 1982 with a high of 71. Even warmer on Sunday and a slight risk of some rough weather Monday morning, I should say. Your full forecast coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
From some serious flooding up and down our coast, from a fall nor'easter to new gun laws being announced in Delaware, there was a lot happening on our coast this week. We have your week in review. Just back in 60 seconds. From some serious flooding up and down the coast to newly announced gun restrictions in Delaware, there was a lot happening here. Charlie Sakaitis has a look at our week in review.
Monday, flooding up and down the coast after the weekend nor'easter in Bethany Beach, Lewis, Slaughter Beach, the Inlet Bridge, and more water covering roads and causing problems. Tuesday was the last day of paid parking in Lewis. It's one of the last places to shut off its meters on Delmarva, Ocean City, now the last man standing with their meters running through Halloween. Wednesday, a major development that would add a Costco, Target, and Whole Foods to a stretch of road off of Route 24 in Mulberry Knoll Road got recommended for approval by Sussex County Planning and Zoning. The 700,000 square foot shopping center called Atlantic Fields still has a few hurdles to leap over before anything is final. Thursday at the Mayors of Delmarva Forum, flooding back in the news. Chincoteague leaders say low-lying neighborhoods on the south side are taking repeated hits, and the town is pushing for federal attention to speed up long-planned protections. Friday, Delaware State Police doing their part to prepare for the new permit-to-purchase gun program that will take effect on November 16th. Once this does go live, to get a permit, you'll need to complete a safety course, get fingerprinted and photographed, and pass a background check. We have more details on CoastTV.com. For your Week in Review, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
Coming up next, Bob Trihey in the Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. He has your warmer and a possibly stormy full forecast. That's after the break.
All in all, a pretty nice start to our weekend. It was a chilly start. Temperatures beginning out in the 40s, but a nice recovery this afternoon. Salisbury and Georgetown both at 71. Dover 72, 66 in Ocean City. A little cooler there, with Cambridge at 68 and Easton at 70. As we look at the Spicer Brothers cam looking over SU this evening, and our storyline for Sunday, it's going to be mild, it's going to be breezy, in fact warmer. Highs in the mid 70s and winds getting gusty, perhaps up to 30 miles per hour in the afternoon. afternoon. Then Monday morning, I have issued a yellow alert. This is the wee hours of Monday morning. We could see some heavy rain, maybe some strong winds, and maybe a rumble of thunder. So make sure you secure those outdoor items Sunday evening. But nice and calm this evening and cooling off. 48 in Harrington, 51 in Redden, 53 in Millsboro, Gumboro. Right now you're at 54. A little milder at the beaches. Bethany Beach 63 and Ocean City 64. And the winds have turned around to the south. They're mainly calm now inland areas. A little bit of a breeze at the coast, but they'll be picking up as we go into tomorrow. And it's a starlit night out there. It's really nice. Looking at clear skies, just a few clouds. All in all, just really quiet all across the mid-Atlantic region right now, from the Carolinas to the Northeast. You can't see it here, but there was an H out here before. High pressure sliding away. We're getting into that southerly flow now, and there's a cold front back to the west. Pretty vigorous cold front with heavy showers and storms with it. This is the front that will give us that potential of some rough weather very early Monday morning. But this evening we're good. Temperatures falling slowly and not as chilly as the last several nights. By tomorrow morning we're in the low to mid 50s, so off to church maybe a light jacket. Breezes pick up tomorrow, especially into the late morning and early afternoon, as temperatures warm into the mid 70s tomorrow afternoon. 60s at the beaches, pretty breezy into Sunday evening. I think we keep it dry Sunday evening for the most part. And then very early Monday, this model showing some showers and storms. Not as vigorous as early, but there is a lot of energy with this front. So gusty winds, some rumbles of thunder possible very early Monday morning. And then the system clearing out. It's breezy with a strong westerly wind the rest of the day, with highs by afternoon into the mid 60s. There's a marginal or low chance of seeing those damaging winds, maybe gusts over 40 miles per hour as we go into Monday morning, as those winds pick up Sunday afternoon, gusting close to 30 miles per hour. Then very early Monday, that's when we could see those gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour as those winds start to shift to the west and northwest. Along the coast on Sunday, looking pretty good. Low to mid 70s, and those winds picking up out of the south. 52 tonight, mostly clear, not as chilly, and then 76 with breezy conditions tomorrow. There's that yellow alert very early Monday in your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 66, 70 Tuesday, another rain chance Wednesday, 66, then cool and dry for the end of the week into next weekend. Highs in the 60s and lows in the 40s.
All right, check this out. Hudson Fields, full of fun and a little fright at the Milton Theater. They hosted their annual Zombie Fest this Saturday night. The event was full of vendors, a costume contest, and performances, including fire breathers. Our own Charlie Sakaitis and Madeline Overturf were the judges of that costume contest. The Brandywine Valley SPCA hosted their Barks on the Boards on Saturday, welcoming both two-legged and four-legged guests to a day full of fun. From a dogs dive competition to yoga with puppies, the event had something for every animal lover.
It's the community that helps us do the work that we do. So whether you can come adopt, foster with us, join as a volunteer, or make a donation, that's the community supporting the work that we're doing every day. And you can just see it right here on display. And that's really what we want the community to know, is that we can't do this work without them.
The festivities did not stop there. Pets showed off their best looks in a costume contest, while families enjoyed live music at the bandstand. Organizers say that all proceeds today will go towards helping the SPCA. CoastTV was proud to support this event, with fellow anchor Madeline Overturf serving as the MC. More adults are starting or growing their families later in life now. While there are risks associated with advanced maternal age, common misconceptions may be causing more to worry than necessary, and even holding some back. That's up next at CoastTV News at 11. In your health news tonight, a growing number of adults are choosing to start or expand a family later in life. And while advanced maternal age carries some added risks, experts now saying that some common misconceptions can cause unneeded stress, even discouraging some from trying to get pregnant. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has one woman's story.
At age 42, Melissa Holmes was set to get a hysterectomy to help with the pain of fibroids. Instead, she got the shock of her life.
About 2 weeks prior to everything being finalized through insurance and things, I found out I was pregnant.
Holmes already had a 22-year-old son from the first time she was pregnant. She wasn't planning to expand her family. And there was one more concern, her age.
When you're older and you're having a baby, you worry about, side effects. Is the baby going to be healthy? Is something going to be wrong with the baby? Or am I going to be able to survive this pregnancy?
It all depends on the health of the individual.
Holmes' OBGYN, Dr. Natasha Spencer with Orlando Health, says women in their 30s and 40s who don't have major underlying medical conditions and have a healthy lifestyle can have an uncomplicated pregnancy. But experts say overall, when compared to those of younger ages, women of advanced maternal age are at higher risk of complications like gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, labor problems, cesarean delivery. Older women are also at risk of delivering preterm or a child with low birth weight.
That women should, if it's definitely within their heart's desire to speak with their obstetrician gynecologist about pregnancy, despite them being older.
On December 19th, 2023, Holmes delivered a healthy baby boy.
I couldn't imagine my life without him.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Spencer says if a person of advanced maternal age does have a medical condition, to make sure those conditions are under control. And if you're on certain medications, she says you may also consider making sure that those are safe for pregnancy and to make sure you start a prenatal vitamin. After the break here on Coast TV News at 11, as we're taking a live look into Ocean City. It's kind of dark out there. We have a final check on your forecast with Bob Trihey. Coast TV News continues in just a few moments.
Not as chilly as we go into your Sunday morning. We were in the 40s this morning. I think we're looking at low to mid 50s tomorrow morning. So off to church, maybe just a light jacket. Then we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds. The winds pick up and it gets pretty mild into the afternoon to the mid 70s. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast, 76 tomorrow, and then rain develops tomorrow night. I do have a yellow alert in effect for Monday morning. Gusty winds, and we're also looking at the potential for some heavy rain too. Dries out the rest of the day, 66, and then by Tuesday up to 70 degrees, and then maybe another shower chance by Wednesday with a high of 66, and then cooler and drier for the end of the week with temperatures into the low to mid 60s and overnight lows in the 40s. And right now, next weekend looking good, mid 60s and chilly at night, and maybe another rain chance as we go into early next week, and that's getting close to Halloween with the temperature in the low 60s. So looking pretty quiet as we go through the next several days.
Bob, I don't know if I like the sound of this rain with my hair.
Oh,
I just did it. I need a hair forecast or something. Something of the sort.
All right.
Anyways, thanks for joining us here at Coast TV News at 11. If you'd like more local news or weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. Saturday Night Live starts right now. Have a great night, Delmarva.
Night.